Welcome back to Open Window Politics. Today we're going to be doing a prediction between Pete Buttigieg on the Democratic side versus J.D. Vance on the Republican side. So at the moment, J.D. Vance looks like he will be the nominee for Republicans in 2028. Still a ways out, so that could certainly change. And Pete Buttigieg is less likely to be the Democratic Party's nominee as Vance is to be the Republicans, but he has been floated as a potential candidate. So we'll be going through a prediction between these two. Start out in the state of Nevada. With that one, I'm going to put it into the lean blue rating. I think this state will be a pretty easy one for Democrats to win back. We've seen Democrats consistently outperform in the special elections that have taken place since 2024. What happens during the midterms this November will also be a telling sign and give us an indication of which way the country is leaning for a possible 2028 presidential run. So that is going to be the state of Nevada. And then as far as Arizona goes, I'm going to put that one in the tilt blue margin. I do think it would be narrower than Nevada, but I think that that would still be a Democratic victory for Pete Buttigieg. And then we'll head over, actually, we'll go to the Rust Belt. So in the Rust Belt, the state I feel the most confident calling is probably going to be Michigan. J.D. Vance and Pete Buttigieg actually come from neighboring states. Originally, J.D. Vance was from Ohio. He was the senator from there. And then Pete Buttigieg, originally a mayor of South Bend, Indiana, and then if I remember correctly now lives in Michigan. So that state, I think he would have home state advantage. J.D. Vance is, of course, winning his home state. I currently have it as lean, but I think that it could realistically end up as likely. And then as far as Iowa goes, I think I'd put it in that call too. I do think Texas would be narrower than likely, so for now I'm going to put it in the lean if the election were to be held today. But that's going to be the call there for Michigan. And then we're going to go to a Republican victory state next, that being the state of North Carolina. This state I am calling for J.D. Vance, bringing him to 235 electoral college votes to Pete Buttigieg's 257. So next up, the state I'm going to call is going to be the state of Georgia. I'm going to put that in Pete Buttigieg's column. That is ultimately enough to bring him across the finish line to 273. And that is going to be a victory for the Democrat Pete Buttigieg. And I do think the news will get better. Currently, I have Michigan in the Democratic Party's column, and I do think the Rust Belt would vote together. It often does. It's been the case for the last couple of elections. So that is going to be the final tally. There is going to be one more electoral college vote for Pete Buttigieg in the district here in Omaha. I accidentally clicked on the wrong district, but that is going to be a final result of 303 for the Democrat Pete Buttigieg to 235 for the Republican J.D. Vance. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.